Trump has sparked a needed talk on race column. He bumbles and stumbles and makes faux appeals. But he has set the table for an important debate. This might sound strange coming from me, but Donald Trump actually deserves a modicum of credit for sparking another important conversation about race in America. Any day that we can openly discuss and try to reach clarity on how race impacts our society is a good day. The way Trump is going about it, however, is neither graceful nor sincere. In fact, he has stumbled and bumbled his way into talking about the perils that many Black and Hispanic Americans face on a daily basis. No one with half a brain believes that Trump is truly interested in the plight of people of color or that he genuinely cares about earning their vote. If his poll numbers were not tanking among white women and some white men, it's doubtful he would be addressing the issue at all. Yet here he is ratcheting up a faux appeal to minority voters at practically every campaign stop, if for no other reason to show doubtful white voters that he's not the racist that he has made himself out to be throughout the campaign and well before. On Wednesday in Jackson, Mississippi, Trump preemptively called Hillary Clinton a bigot and reiterated, again to a predominantly white crowd, his plea for Black votes by focusing only on crime, poverty and broken homes. The problem with Trump's belated outreach is the same problem that many insulated white Americans have when trying to articulate issues of importance to minority voters. Trump is labeling all persons of color as poor and uneducated souls, who are either crime victims or crime perpetrators, in desperate need of his paternalistic know-how to, by himself, solve their problems. In front of another virtually all-white audience in Wisconsin earlier this month, Trump basically dressed down African Americans. You live in poverty, your schools are no good, you have no jobs, 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose? As insulting as that comment was, it did help to ignite a public conversation about race in our national politics and where African Americans stand in today's seesaw economy. For one thing, most African Americans are not jobless. Although the Black unemployment rate has consistently been double that of whites since the mid-1950s. According to the Pew Research Center, Black unemployment was at its highest, 19.5%. In 1983, when Republican Ronald Reagan was in the White House, white unemployment that year was 8.4%, the largest racial disparity on record. The smallest gap, according to Pew, was in 2009. President Barack Obama's first year in office, when the Great Recession dramatically pushed up white unemployment. But immediately thereafter, Black unemployment shot up again, reaching 13.4% in 2013 while white unemployment settled at 6.7%. As of last month, the Black unemployment rate was at 8.4% compared to 4.3% for white Americans, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And that brings us to another debatable point from Trump's recent remarks that the Democratic Party has taken the Black vote for granted. It is certainly true that African Americans generally fare worse than others in virtually every economic measurement. But the Republican Party effectively abandoned the Black vote starting in 1964 when it opted to link its future to segregationists and social conservatives in the South. The GOP has made no serious effort to reclaim Black voters since then, and now with Trump as its standard-bearer, ultra-right-wing zealots are trying to push the party even further to the extreme. Black elected officials at the local, state and national level overwhelmingly identify as Democrats because they have a much better chance of being heard and impacting public policy. The Republican outreach to minorities seems to be, we'll accept you, but only on our terms. Another problem with Trump's rhetoric on race is that he says virtually nothing about Black and Latino entrepreneurship, or what he would do as president to grow minority businesses, encourage the hiring of more minority executives in the private sector, and increase wages for Black and Hispanic middle-class families. His 13-member team of economic advisors is all men and all white. Enough said. Trump's overture to minority voters is all about delivering age-old references to crime, poverty and failing schools without articulating any plans for addressing those issues. But his greatest failing, and the biggest reason that his plea for minority votes is laughable, can be summed up in one word: disrespect. Trump, the embodiment of the birther movement, has disrespected Obama since day one of his presidency based solely on racial animus. He also has disrespected African Americans and Latinos in his business practices for years. And he has continued this disrespect throughout his campaign by resorting to dog whistle politics that has attracted devout racists and other fringe elements. His handful of black surrogates, including Ben Carson, former Trump apprentice Omarosa Manigault, and a few preachers here and there, won't change the perception that Trump's campaign is sustained by racial bigotry. Despite all those shortcomings, I still say Trump deserves credit for setting the table for an important debate about the role that race plays in our political discourse, and why the politics of yesteryear is unsustainable in today's diverse America. Until Trump understands that, he will continue to languish at about 2% of the black vote, and not much more than that of the Latino vote. And that, particularly for the GOP, is a hell of a lot to lose.